Question is, will you survive the surging energy bills this winter? I put this video up yesterday and I got absolutely flooded with comments. Insane inflation on energy bills. It's gas or electric, it's getting crazy. It's getting out of hand. And this isn't just in the United States, it's all around the world, and other places got it much worse. I spent hours and hours last night reading through hundreds of comments. Some people in the US are paying double, triple, even quadruple the price than they were paying last year at the same time. So I needed to dive into this topic. I started researching it, and it's not good, guys. It's not good. For a lot of you out there this winter, you're gonna have to choose between food and warmth. It's not good. The projection is not good. It is extraordinarily concerning. They have got useful information that affects you all, everyone. And at the end of the video, 7 tips to help you with this winter crisis we're all gonna experience. Welcome back to all of our subs. If you're brand new here, like news that affects you. Emergency preparedness tips, prepping tips, weekly. Be sure to hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one. Okay, for starters, for all of you that have the notification bell clicked on, double check it. Because I guarantee you, out of 200,000 people out there that are subscribed, not everyone's getting notified that I'm putting up new videos. And it has something to do with the messages we deliver. Emergency preparedness, self-sustainability. Now, if I was talking about how great our current administration was doing, I bet you everybody would get their notification. So with that, please double check and check in every once in a while. So like I said, I did that video yesterday. If you missed it, I'll leave it up at the end screen. It's got some really good information and 10 tips at the end of the video that are really helpful in case you missed it. So as I was saying, flooded with comments. Everybody putting in their 2 cents on how much they're paying for their utility bills, their energy bills, their heating and cooling, their electricity, their gas. Now, I live near big rivers and big dams. We've got a lot of power in our area, so I wasn't totally aware how bad it was around the rest of the US and the world, because that's a benefit of our local area. We have low energy costs. Yeah, but to give you an idea of what I was reading, this person wrote, my office electric bill went from $95 to $503 in 3 months. Not sustainable. I was in North Carolina over the weekend and was in Costco, and it was packed with Christmas decorations and children's gifts. A crash coming maybe? We get all these inflation percentages, right? But no percentage of inflation we have ever got has related to $95 going to $503 in 3 months. Natural gas will be banned by 2030 in California, which none of that makes any sense. I saw that Popular Preparedness did a video on that this morning about that California issue. He does a really good job at explaining why that doesn't make sense. Other headlines are reading, fuel poverty by January in the UK has been predicted. Price caps continue to go up. Coming from the OFGEM. And in yesterday's video, I told you that 20 million people are already behind in their utility bills by an average of $792. That's not going away, because what we've got projected for this winter is much worse than it already is right now. Did you know that Bloomberg is suggesting orchestrated blackouts to try to weigh on command? Well, there's a great way to lower our prices. Let's just give everyone a blackout. I mean, this is what we're up against these days. That's the best they can come up with. We'll come back to the US in just a second, but over there in the UK, in Europe, you're looking at projections like this of costs of energy going into this winter. Like I said, fuel poverty expected by January, and having the restricted amounts having a lot to do with the sanctions. Well, now, can you imagine if the big R country decides to just cut them off? Can you imagine the catastrophe that all of Europe would face? And the big reason I bring up Europe is because we're all intertwined. A lot of what happens over there affects us in a big way because it's all networked together. Could we self-sustain in the United States? Yes, but that's not in the cards for us with our leadership. The real sad truth is if you're already struggling with utility bills, it's not gonna get any better. It's actually gonna get a lot worse as winter nears, as January nears. Now, before I get to a couple comments I wanna read and then those 7 tips to help you guys out, let me tell you what the Daily Caller wrote in this article. Household electricity bills, which are already soaring in the highest levels this year, are likely to experience substantial price hikes during the winter months due to the rising price of natural gas, according to the Energy Information Administration, which is the EIA. And here's a part that I'm still yet to completely figure out. What does an electricity bill have to do with fossil fuels? And why should someone that has a rooftop full of solar panels that is also tied into the electrical grid using a substantially less amount of power, why is their bills tripling? The average household price of electricity in 2022 is forecasted to be 14.8 cents per kilowatt hour in 2022, 7.5% higher than it was in 2021 due to the rising natural gas prices. To the EIA short-term energy outlook, the National Energy Association Directors Association also forecasted that American families will pay 17.2% more to heat their homes this winter. But wait till you see what people are actually paying compared to what they used to pay. These percentages they're giving us, they're full of it. The article continues, the average cost of household energy will have increased by more than 35% from 2021. Baloney. If NEADA estimates are correct. Not correct. Natural gas prices, which more than doubled in 2022, will also cause the average price of electricity to rise to 15.24% per kilowatt hour in 2023 as global and domestic demand will hike during the winter months. So that's just it. Why does the electrical bill need to go up if the oil and natural gases are already going up? To me, it kind of seems like a double dip. The agency predicts that the wholesale prices will reach $100 megawatt per hour in New York, which is up 124% from 2021, and New England up 96% from 2021. The Northeast faces the highest winter electrical prices forecast as a region is heavily reliant on liquefied natural gas, large amounts which are being imported due to Europe to address the continent's energy shortages. Meanwhile, green energy is unable to fill the supply gaps, which the green energy, not a bad idea in some respects, has a lot of gaps. These guys are pushing green energy way too big and way too fast. We're not even ready for it yet. There's a lot of holes in that plan. The Southwest regions of the US has the lowest forecasted prices in 2022, with the prices predicted to be an average of $69 per megawatt hour, up to 25% from 2021, according to the EIA. Well, I've got some folks from the Southwest that would argue that heavily. And even the current administration is telling us it's going to get worse. President Joe Biden's Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned that the oil prices could rise in 2023 after the European Union's embargo on Russian oil goes into effect, which could cause further energy price hikes. With natural gas prices that are currently soaring due to the global supply shortages that are being exacerbated by the Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Gas accounts for about 37% of U.S. energy consumption according to the EIA outlook. EIA also predicts that there will be a record level of gas use this year amid soaring prices since energy producers will have less ability to burn coal due to the shutting of coal plants nationwide. Well, what a great time to have all of our coal plants shut down, right? The Consumer Price Index for energy in August 2022 increased by 15.8% from August 2021, the largest 12-month increase since August 1981, due to the high fuel prices and inflation, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. At least 20 million American households, or 1 out of every 6 homes, were behind on their utility bills in August due to the skyrocketing energy prices, according to Bloomberg. So like I said, all these percentages they're giving us, it's not what real people that are really paying the bills are reporting. It's a lot worse. Check this out. Mama 2 says, my electric bill had went up almost $200 within 1 month, even though the usage did not increase. Alicia writes, I work for a company I cannot mention, and we had a talk about how we will have an increase of 1.5 to 2.5% when it comes to the fuel charge you see on your bill each month. She goes on to say they plan on making this change during the peak of the winter season. Fabulous, when everyone's struggling the worst. Sandy Peaches 40 writes, $700 a month last 2 months for electric. Hi there writes, I've never had a gas electricity as high as this year, and yep, I owe like $900 past due. Well, just know you're not the only one. Upstate New York, we use kerosene furnaces here. It cost us $600 last year to fill up our tank. This year, we just filled it up and the same amount cost us $900. Sam reports in Pennsylvania, triple electric prices. Prepare for a dark winter. They're even feeling it in Oregon. Justin writes from Oregon City, power went up $120 a month this bill, and we've used less power this last billing cycle, and it was $170 last month. This month is $290. Howard writes from Louisville, Illinois, went from $85 to $375. Cindy writes from Temecula, California, people are paying anywhere between $700 to a little over $1,000 depending on their square footage. That's a lot of money a year to go towards electrical. A lot of people don't even make that much in a year. City manager in my town in western Kansas told us that our electrical and natural gas bill will more than double. AR writes from Laverne, Oklahoma, we're being hit with a $75 fuel adjustment fee, and the utility bill is over $400. So they're gonna stick people with an extra fee nowadays too? Okay, how about that Southwest, Texas, right? East Texas went from $200 to $358 last month. Brenda writes, yes, $539 a month for 1 month. My home has never seen a bill over $230 a month. Dragon for 3 writes, Louisiana, $800 to $1,200 in a month. J-Man Random, $760 a month on the electrical bill. Here's one that makes you scratch your head. Why? Also from the Southwest. Eloy writes, from Houston, Texas, our light bill went from $400 to $800. When I asked them why, they didn't have an explanation. They could see the usage tripled, and I'm the only one home, and I'm hardly even home. I keep it dark, and I don't watch much TV. So what justifies it completely doubling? Another sub from Texas, Suzanne writes, electric bill went from $212 to $482 in Odessa, Texas. Russ from the middle of Tennessee, first time ever my electrical bill was $420 last month. A friend works for the UPS and says they are now taking volunteer layoffs. Thanks for keeping us ahead of the curve. Emma from Melbourne, Australia writes, with 20 solar panels on our roof, our bills are done every 3 months. Water is about $980. Electricity is $1,970. Gas is $1,100. This is insane. Sorry to hear that, Emma, but that sounds like not a lot of people would be able to afford that. Okay, just a couple more and then we'll get to those tips. Torsten writes, hi, I live in Canada, but I am German. My brother still lives there. Yesterday there was a well-known political TV show. They had guests there from economics and business owners. The topic was rising on energy costs. My brother told me there was a business owner from a rather middle-sized business. They manufacture porcelain parts and goods. The business owner said that he has an average cost of about 870,000 euros a year for his power and mainly natural gas bill to fire his ovens and make the porcelain. He just got recently his power bill he has to pay for the current year. Now hold yourself, he said. 5.5 million euros he has to pay as the gas and power increased so much in the past year. As a result, he had to fire 100 employees and filed insolvent bankruptcy. And he goes on to say that that would not be a problem if the German government would just do what they're supposed to do. That is, making the country run smooth instead of putting sanctions on the big R country for a war which is not in the interest of Germans. And then wonder why the big R country is cutting off the supply of cheap energy. All they would need to do is pay in ruble and bring their 7 nuclear plants back to running, the ones they shut off before the war started and the ones they just decided to shut down next month. People need to wake the F up to this Ukraine nonsense and warmongering. It has nothing to do with the entire global economy willfully being crashed. One thing is for sure, everyone is feeling the effect of whatever the heck's going on. Debbie writes, how are the poor like me and my husband supposed to stock up on anything? We only get paid $12 per hour, haven't had food in the fridge for the last 3 months. Utilities in Akron, Ohio are way too high. Can't afford it, can't even get help. Thanks to Biden, we are screwed. The only people who can survive are the rich, who keep getting richer. The illegal people and the people with kids, getting that money for them. My husband is 71, partial retirement. I am 58. We both make $12 an hour. We can't make ends meet. Please help. For people like Debbie, I'll keep making videos and I'm going to keep in mind stuff that doesn't cost money. Things that'll help you out. More DIY projects, less money out of the pocket. A couple tips that people threw in the comments. Zippy writes, utilities, have no idea what you're running on electric. I have 2 LED bulbs for constant lighting, my laptop, a fan, and my refrigerator. That's it. My electric bill was $25 last month. I turned off my hot water heater, don't need it. Sponge type bath now for 7 years. I put 1-inch foam insulation board in many of my windows. I have cutouts for all windows ready in case of a power outage during this winter. They help year round. I am ready, blocking off certain areas of my small home that won't be heated this winter. Now that right there are great tips for someone that is really feeling the pinch. LPI writes, my electric bill has doubled in central MS. This is crazy. I've purchased a goose down feather bed and comforter for my bedroom, along with tons of blankets. Get thick socks, etc. Get ready. Those are also great tips. Okay guys, for those of you who stuck around to the end, let's go through 7 tips to keep on your mind to help you with rising energy costs this winter. Number 1 is gonna take some learning. You're gonna have to watch other videos, but you need to become more independent. Try to find a way to need less. That is something that a lot of preppers have been doing for some time now, becoming more self-sustainable. Number 2, make sure that your energy bills are billed correctly. Double check, call them up, ask them about the charges, make sure that you understand what they're charging you for to make sure that you eliminate errors and fraud. Number 3, use less power. And this is pretty easy. It comes down to making sure you don't leave lights on. Don't go and open the fridge and just look in the fridge wondering what you're gonna pick. Know what you're gonna grab in the fridge. Open it less. Make sure things are unplugged from the wall. Well, as a lot of people said, it still draws energy when it's plugged in the wall, whether it's working or not. Make sure you've switched out all of your light bulbs to LED. When it comes to your heating and cooling system, adjust the levels. Bring the cold level up, bring the heat down. It might mean that you're gonna wear a few more clothes to stay warmer when it's cooler, and it might mean that you're tearing off a shirt when it's hotter. But making it a point to work your system less will also affect your bill price. And if you're in a position to buy solar panels, little solar generators, do so. Try to find ones that will run things that you normally run off of power. Number 4, make preparations to better insulate your home. And like they said earlier, have styrofoam cutouts, insulation board, blankets to cut out drafts, extra plastic, even saran wrap helps over windows. And think about consolidating to a smaller space in your house just in case you get a blackout, just in case things get really crazy. Number 5, have wool blankets, down blankets, lots of layers, sleeping bags. Number 6 is just a small little tip, but if you can buy a big box of hand warmers. Hand warmers are super awesome for those crazy cold nights, and say you are bundled up into a sleeping bag, you shake up a hand warmer, you throw it down towards the foot in your sleeping bag, it will help keep you warm through the night. A lot of times they last over 12 hours. And number 7, much like yesterday's last tip, make a plan. Work on your plan, work on your checklist, make sure you have a detailed plan that fits you and your family. And if you guys need some help, I did a video a while back on winter power outages and what you should have on hand. And here's that video from yesterday in case you missed that one. Good checklist at the end of that video as well. This winter is gonna be no joke, and you definitely need to plan now. Get prepared now. A lot of people will be struggling. So with that, keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing, guys. We'll see you on the next one.